Yep, well, my pappy used to tell me, if you want to stay sharp in them woods, you got to keep your tools sharp, right? So,
That was your pappy that said that?
what was that?
You said that was your pappy?
Uh, No, I well, I didn't really have a pappy, so to say. If I did have a man in my life that I called pappy, I believe he would have said something like that, though. So I kind of live as though that did happen, I guess. It's my philosophy. All right, everybody, here we are, Cody at Bonnie Acres Farm. We're debating on changing the name to Homestead because farm kind of gives this impression that we're like a business. And while some people do come and pick up a little bit of like eggs and stuff from us, we're not really a business. So anyway, Cody from Bonnie Acres Farm or Homestead, whatever you want to call it. And this is my favorite season. As you can see here, we are tapping trees. We've already had some of these buckets in for the past week and a half, 2 weeks ish. We had kind of a warm spell in February, which is nice because we kind of get an early sap run. And so that's what we're dealing with right now, although we're up against a dilemma. We've got 20 buckets tapped so far. I've got another 50 spiles for a tube line over on the hill for a gravity feed. I'm going to be tapping that here shortly. But we're short on wood, and I'm running out of things to burn. I've burned a couple of old pallets and all the leftover wood that I have that's a little too ugly for burning in the fireplace. So got a couple of things we need to check off here. It's all just kind of falls behind as you're raising 3 kids with your wife and working full time and trying to do as much homesteading as you can in the middle of volunteering at church and pastoring now. So that's an interesting road to be on, and excited to be on it, and I'm sure I'll be sharing more details about that. But let's start by getting some wood together. These buckets are filling up, and we have 10 5-gallon buckets ready to boil. So the dilemma I face currently is that we had a lot of snow this winter, and all of my wood is out here, and I got to get it up there to the front of that house. And it might not look that bad from this perspective, but the snowbank up there by the truck is pretty high, and so I'd love to be able to pull the truck up here and grab all this wood at once. But I've been stuck about 4 times this winter in that truck, even though it's a truck with 4-wheel drive and everything. Anyways, so the debate right now is risk it for the biscuit and drive the truck over here and pray I don't get stuck, or lug it all a couple logs at a time, which is a good workout, that's for sure. The only thing I'm up against is I pulled my back a couple days ago because I'm middle-aged now apparently, and I'm running the risk of pulling it again. So we're gonna see what we do here in a minute. All right, I'm gonna try. Problem is I have to go backwards because I think when I get out there I'm not gonna be able to turn around, and I'm not gonna want to back out when I get there. So let's see what we get. Look out, buddy. I can hear the Ford boys now, but let me tell you what, the Ford that I bought didn't even make it off the lot. So, and I don't really care about all that, but anyways, almost got stuck there for a second. Can't go slow. Now the question is can we get back over it? And I feel like The answer is yes. So when I'm not working full time, the kids are asleep and I'm not working on something for church or the homestead, I often end up gaming. I grew up gaming, and it was kind of like a space that I would escape in from whatever was going on in life growing up. And admittedly, I was spiritual but not a Christian, and I probably found a lot of spiritual fulfillment in gaming, I would say, probably because it brought me to like fantasy worlds and made me think of things bigger than myself, higher than the things I can see in this world, right? And it's like a movie or a book, like you're peering into the mind of someone else, the creator of that thing, right? And so I think gaming has always been a kind of a spiritual gap fill for me growing up, and thank God I know where to put myself spiritually now. And now gaming is just more of that, just leisure, and there's a lot of fantasy and stuff that I get out of it. But anyway, there's a game I've been playing lately. It's called Arc Raiders, which most people that are aware of anything in gaming have heard of it. And what I love about it is these interactions you get with random people. Like, you just go into the world of Arc Raiders and you bump into other people and you have some pretty interesting, it's like a social experiment. I don't know. It's like I don't know. I just meet a lot of interesting people. And last night I was playing with this guy that I bumped into, and him and I we were trying to get out of the map together. I'm gonna spare you all the mechanics of the game and just say we were trying to get back to the extraction point out of the map we were in, and we were talking along the way, and I was like, I feel like I need to talk to this guy about Jesus. I feel like I need to use this moment that we have. We were going to be together for at least another 4 or 5 minutes and talk to him about Jesus. And on the way back, he died. And when someone dies, they're out of the map. They're gone. You can't talk to them anymore. And it's like that moment to talk to him about my faith and what I would hope ultimately becomes his faith was gone. Now, with it being a game, I can look him up. So I looked him up and I found his profile, and I know now why I felt like I needed to talk to him about Jesus, because his bio on the game was it said basically it said I love pornography in his bio. And being that I grew up in the same culture that all of us have lived in for some time, I had to wrestle with that same thing. And I basically, to share my testimony real quick, I just, in 2022, late 2022, after we moved in here and really started to come to know Jesus more, I just said, Jesus, I'm done with this thing. And I visualized that I had the object of lust and just that sexual content and everything. I just had that vision of it as this physical object in my hand. And in prayer, I imagined literally laying it at the foot of the cross. And ever since that moment, I have not gone back. And it's been amazing what it's done for me spiritually, what it's done for my physical health, my mental health, for my relationship with not only my wife but with everyone. Like, when you have that habit in your life, and I know this is a sap making video and homesteading, but when you have that that grasp, that stronghold in your life, it is so hard to recognize the damage that it's doing, you know, because you just look around and you're like, everybody's consuming this, it's fine if I do too. But man, I cannot, maybe someone on the other side of this camera is meant to hear this, I don't know, but I cannot thank Jesus enough for, I hate to say, making it so easy for me to give it up, but it just felt like I was like, hey Jesus, I'm done, take it, and it's gone. For a lot of people it doesn't work that way. Even when they come to Jesus, it's still something they wrestle with. I praise God every day that for the most part in my life, whenever I've wanted to give something up, He just takes it away, and even before I acknowledged Him as my Savior. And so anyway, I share all that because I found that guy's profile, I read that, and I was like, I need to talk to him about this thing. And I don't know how old he was. I would gauge him probably in his early to mid 20s, just based on his voice. But I sent him a friend request this morning. This was last night, all of this. Sent him a friend request this morning because I'm like, I need to see if I can even try to follow through with that. Like, if he accepts my friend request, you know, I was going to try to give him back any of the gear that he had in the game that he lost, because every time you die, you lose everything in the match. So I was trying to connect with him so I can give him back some of the stuff he lost as kind of my in, which I know sounds kind of schemy, but I'm like, if I can get in and talk to him about my testimony of giving up that content, sexual content like that, then at least I could plant a seed. You know, I'm probably not going to change his heart right then and there, and that's the nature of sharing your faith and evangelizing, is saying, hey, I'm going to drop these seeds on the soil of your heart, and I pray that later on, you know, maybe they'll bloom very shortly. Maybe it'll be a while now before somebody else can bring along the water or the fertilizer that's needed, and this can blossom into something and produce fruit. And I'm just hoping to have that opportunity and share that with him. So I don't know, I figured I'd share that with you all while I'm sharpening this saw. Just typical saw sharpening thoughts, I guess. But hey, if you listen to it, thanks. And maybe you got something to glean from all that. Sorry for sniffling so much. It's cold. Whew. I'm feeling it. It's about half the logs here. Got most of it, well, pretty much all of it split. The rest is undercover over there. I got the barrel out, so we're gonna start getting that set up. I think I'm gonna make this a two-part video though, because I'm probably taking up a lot of time already, and short attention spans are running amok right now. So I'm gonna split this up. So the first half, here you got it, getting ready for another day of boiling, and then the second part, I'm gonna show you getting the sap over here rolling, and then actually connecting all the lines and punching the trees up on the hill. So thanks for watching this video. Praying for God's blessing over you and you and yours, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you.